Are you just trying to live, laugh, or love? Or are you just trying to do all of the above? This is the podcast for you. Whether you're an aspiring comic, a headlining comic, a class clown, or just an average bro or doe looking for a good time, you, my friend, are in the right place. Welcome to the magical world of just trying to podcast. Here we go. Welcome, triers, doers, and everything in betweeners. This is Just Trying to Podcast with your host, Mike Tony Heath. What up, y'all? We back and ready to attack. Come on, Kimmy. Let that hamster out, man. Kimmy, come on, Kimmy. Y'all ever had a hamster? Hamsters smell the worst. It's this is a big day for the world. As I'm recording this, we're celebrating right now. We're celebrating 50 years of hip hop. And every time I think of hip hop, well, not every time, but often when I think about hip hop, I think about those Kia Soul hamsters that were like, I kind of viewed them as like they had soul, like they were kind of hip hop hamsters, and they were rolling in that. They were rolling in that Kia Soul because they had soul. And I always wanted a Kia Soul. Like before I could drive, I think that was my first dream car. What was your first dream car? My first dream car was a box with wheels on it and hip-hop hamsters. That was my dream. And then I got my first car as a 1970 Dodge Dart Swinger. And now that is my dream car. What was formerly back in the 70s like your grandma's muscle car is now my muscle car. And I love it. My wife had hamsters. She had a hamster, and she would take her hamster. Y'all ever do like the hamster races at like one of those like Petcos or something? Well, she would go up there, and she had a hamster named Kimmy, which she named after her mother, Kim. So, Kim, if you're listening to this, shout out to you. Kimmy, rest in power. And Kimmy was a horrible racer. She was probably more of a hip-hop hamster, honestly, just down to, like, chill and, like, write some bars. Kimmy, the hamster, was not trying to race, so she'd be in this ball, and Meg would be like, "Come on, Kimmy, roll! Come on, Kimmy, roll! Come on, Kimmy!" But Kimmy wouldn't budge, dude. Kimmy was trying to chill, so Kimmy never won. She never won a race, and which reminds me of this race that I saw on Instagram. It was the slowest 100 meters. It wasn't like ever. I mean, I'm sure people have run it slower, like I'm sure. But this was the FISU World University Games, and this was a person from Somalia. I don't know if they were a pirate or not, but this was a 20-year-old Nasra Abukar, who participated in these games. What they say, very little running experience. Frankie, pull up the video on this. Here we go. So we see here, if you're just listening to this, we got they're racers. They're in China, and they're these like the World University Games. And they're getting into the blocks, and the camera's on this. I think this person's in like lane 5, maybe. It's like the middle lane, and I will just say this person doesn't look like a sprinter. They look a little bit more heavy set. They look like they should be throwing the disc or something. But all the racers, they're lining up, and right out of the gates, they fall behind like 3 seconds. And we're like 5 seconds into the race, and they're not even in the camera anymore. Everyone else, there's actually some people slower here, but it's like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, 6 Mississippi. Okay, they don't pan back. 7. Dude, okay, actually, they just finished. I think that's like 10 seconds after. It looked like they were like trotting along the finish line, and you see the more professional athletes looking back like, what was this, dude? Oh, they're actually in lane 4. But how did this happen? But I like this because I've actually thought a lot about, honestly, a lot about the Olympics. And what if we did have an average Joe or Doe in like every competition just to show? Because whenever you're watching even like these swimmers, right, you're like, I could swim. Like, how much faster can they really be? Like, if in every heat, if every race, we had like the average Joe. So there was kind of like a subcategory, and it was just, and we had like we gave like a participation trophy to like them, and it was just to show how excellent these athletes are. So I like that they did this. Now, the Somalia's Ministry of Sports has pledged to investigate how they ended up selecting this person. I imagine it had to be something to do with piracy there. I don't know much, but that's just my guess. There was some sort of shady pirating going on, and piratry. Dude, some of these English words, I just don't get how we do it. Like, what do you think the hardest word is to pronounce in English? Like onomatopoeia, you can't spell it, but it's actually pretty easy to say, right? That's a very easy word to say. But if you try to read it and say it, but like to honestly like pronounce, like Worcestershire sauce is Worcestershire. That is probably, I think I actually pronounced it correct the first time, but IMO, that is the most difficult word to pronounce in the English language. What do y'all think? Like, what is, any of y'all got any one of those difficult last names that's just got to be a trial? Like, I just had Colin Como, which I actually, I apologize. I'm pretty sure whenever I introduced him, I said Colomo. And so he's such a class act. He didn't even mention it, but it's Colin Como. And how you could remember to spell it is come, ox. Like, come over here, ox, but not like an ox animal, like who's on the ox, like the auxiliary chord. That's how I remember how to spell his name. But, yeah, even like we mentioned the comment of the homeboy Trevor Thorlickson. Whenever you read it, it kind of looks like Thor Laxson, with Thor Lickson. It's got an A whenever it looks like an I. Not should. I wouldn't shit on him. Like, that's just his name. But I saw this thing. I saw this picture on the interwebs, and I don't know, it's funny. Like, like these call these Mountain Dew dogs, which is like these beef hot dogs blasted with flavored Mountain Dew, and they look green. And so the picture, it looks like him or they or she was in the hot dog aisle of some grocery store, maybe a Kroger or a Safeway or even a Walmart of sorts. And it looks like such official packaging, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know, man. Everything's just photoshopped. Here's what I'm saying though. Are these real? Have you seen them somewhere? Are they just discontinued? Are they discontinued? Were they like the best hot dogs ever? Like, this year that they came out, like the 4th of July party was popping off with the Mountain Dew dogs. Like, hey, give me one of the Mountain Dew dogs. Give me them Mountain Dew dogs. Hey, yo, Timmy, throw me one of them Mountain Dew dogs off the grill. I don't know where those people were from, but they had 20 grams of sugar. How many grams of sugar hey, Frankie, look this up. How many grams of sugar are in a average, I don't know, like one of those not Franklin, but man, what are the Nathan hot dogs? The sugar content, sugar high. All right, so an average. Oh, here's what I'm looking at. The Nathan's Beef Franks has 0 grams of sugar. So how much is it? Okay, Frankie, check it out. Look it up for how many grams of sugar are in a 12-ounce Mountain Dew can. So this looks like we have 54 grams of sugar, which is the equivalent of 13 and a half teaspoons. We eat way too much sugar in this country. That is for sure. So, yoicks, dude. So basically, if you ate 2 of these Mountain Dew dogs, that's like slamming 2 Mountain Dews and then some. Because then you also have to consider like what kind of meat is in this dog? What kind of dog is in this meat? And dude, crazy, man. Crazy out here. I feel like that would be something that is like how do you reach that idea for the Mountain Dew dogs? Who, like, let's just say this is a real thing. How do you land on let's do something different, guys? Like let's infuse our hot dogs with Mountain Dew. You know, is that some intern coming in? Like the intern, their task for the summer is create a new flavor of hot dog. And it's some gamer dude who just like hot off a League of Legends hot streak or something, out there slaying demons and witches. And he's like, dude, I love Mountain Dew. Code Red, baby. And they're like, well, red, it looks too similar to a normal hot dog. He's like, well, let's do the green. Oh, that's great. I'm about to go camping. I think we're going camping next week in the North Cascades National Park, which I hate to even mention it because I feel like it's an underrated national park. So I don't want to, get it on blast where people want to go visit it and stuff. But there was a fire up there, but I think we're still gonna be able to go, and we're getting all packed up for this camping trip. We're looking forward to it, and I realized that our tent is just in this trash bag. It's not in the tent bag because here's the issue, and I don't know who, if we got to elect like a congressman or how to fix this, but this is something that needs to be fixed in our country. We need some sort of regulation around how big a bag needs to be. Like, I don't feel like it should be acceptable to give the buyer the perception that the thing inside this bag will be able to go back in. Have you ever bought a tent and then you were able to repack it in that same tent bag? I would bet 77 push-ups that 90% of Americans don't repack every part of their tent back in their tent bag, even though it all fit in there in the beginning, because they must have like some magic or some like AI robot packing these tent bags, because once it comes out, it ain't going back in. Once it's out, baby. You are not getting a tent back in a tent bag. And I'm tired of this because I don't know how many tents I've bought in my life. I would say at least 3. Bought a couple from Walmart, and I've even bought like a more upscale, like the Face of North tent, and it doesn't even really fit back in the tent bag. So I'm just like, it's just accepted. Like, we've all just grown complacent. And I think that's a dangerous thing, to just grow complacent. Like, that's probably how we ended up, like all of these books that are talking about, post-apocalyptic lands where some dictator, is just like ruling over the people. Like they just slowly grow complacent. I'm just saying, like, when does it stop? Like if we're just complacent about tents not going back in bags, like where does it end? You know, like if we're okay with our tents not going in the tent bags, like at what point are we gonna just have like a curfew, you know, where you can't be out after 9:37, you know, in your region, in your time zone because of, you know, XYZ. Like I'm really concerned for America of where this is going. And this is fun, man. I had my first weekend here in comedy, a little comedy update. Comedy update. So my journey here, chronicling my journey of just trying to be a comic. And I'm not trying to be a full-time comic. Like that's not the goal. I'm just trying to live, laugh, and love and enjoy life to the fullest, you know, enjoy the gift that God has given me, like all of the gifts. You know, I'm trying to use all of these gifts out here. And I love interacting with comics. Like they're funny people. I love making people laugh. But I had my first weekend at Laughs Comedy Club here in Seattle. And I was opening for Casey Shornima. I ended up not hosting, but just opening. But it was a great weekend. I was so thankful to be on the show and to work with Casey. Again, she's a writer for SNL, and she was at JFL's like New Faces in Comedy in 2022. She's done comedy in Austin, Nashville, now in New York. Like she's been all over. She's a national headliner. It's great to work with her. She is super funny, man, and you got to go see her live. Like she's so unassuming, but it's such a fun, interactive show, and I feel like I learned a lot from her, like just by watching her do her set. You know, 4 shows. I was thankful for the opportunity to have 4 shows, you know, in a weekend. Like that's definitely like the most comedy I've done just over like 2 nights, and like to do it in front of like a great crowd up here in Seattle. I also got to work with Jack Slattery, Chris Meija, and Xack Fischer, some more Seattle comics, great guys to work with. And man, I met a witch who was sitting in the front row. I sold a sticker. I have some stickers, you know, keep Mike Tony Heath weird stickers. I sold one of those. That's just fun. You know, it's like I gave away more. Like it was like a donation only, you know, so I didn't like charge people like $1. So some homie gave me $1, and that just felt, you know, it was only $1, but it just felt good. You know, I just felt good about myself, and I felt like I made these stickers and I sold one, you know, that felt super fun. So I hope you enjoyed it. And I met lots of it was a fun hang. Like after each of the shows, like the audience, like a few of the audience members stuck around. We just chit chatted and talked comedy, just talked life in Seattle. It was just it's a great hang. Like I love just being there. And this weekend, I will be back opening. I'll be hosting this weekend actually for Skip Clark at Joker's Comedy Club. So this is coming out on Friday. So tonight I will be at Joker's Comedy Club, which I believe is in Richland, opening for Skip Clark on Friday and Saturday night at 7:30 p.m. Grab your tickets online, MikeTonyHeath.com. It's got the link there. Come check it out. Let's hang out. Come to the shows. I've never seen Skip live. I think he has actually like started his comedy journey in Kansas City, which I'm real excited because I actually don't know what the scene is like, and I don't know how long ago he was there, but I'm excited to talk to him about comedy in KC because I'll be coming there. I'll be coming back home in December, and I'm hoping to do a show in Kansas City. I'm hoping to put together an independent show in KC in December. So be on the lookout for that. And we're gonna a short show for you this week. We got a short show for you this week, and that's just what it is, man. You know, It's just what it is. It's just what it is. I got some new names that I've been brainstorming for the PODDY, for the rename, which I'm hoping to have done here. And then we should got to find a good name first. So I got some more names to throw at you. Drop in the comments, what is your favorite name? And then I will, in the show notes, I'll just put the running list of like the top 50. I've got so many different kind of ideas and ways to go about it. But the vision of it is, I want to talk about what's weird in life, and I want to, keep chronicling my comedy journey. But as I interview more people, I'm trying to find this lane of really just focusing on what's weird and what's kind of like different about life. The things that I like when I think about comedy. My natural bent is towards like what is just weird about the life that we're living. And that's what I would like to talk about on this podcast as I interview people and get to know people. Like, we're all a little bit odd. We're all a little bit weird. So here's 18 new names, ideas for the podcast. So thanks for listening to this week, and appreciate you all here. And I would love your feedback on this. So number 1, Stranger Oddcast. 2, Average Oddyssey. 3, Average Oddcast. 4, Average Oddballs. 5, Average Weridos. 6, Average Oddities. 7, Average Strangers. You can see the first 7 just have average in the name minus the first one. So 6 out of 7. Average Strangers. I kind of like that one. Number 8, Absurdities. That's all. 9, Abnormal Oddyssey. But the Oddyssey is spelled with double D's for odd. 10, Abnormal Times. 11, Strange Stories. 12, Strange Ones. Strange Ones is probably my favorite among this list. 13, Uncommon. 14, Outlandish. 15, Inside the Odd. 16, Awfully Odd. 17, Awkwardly Odd. And 18, Actually Weird. Now, Meg's top 3 from this list, my wife, she said she likes Stranger Oddcast, Average Oddcast, and Actually Weird. Those are her top 3. What are your top 3? Drop in the comments. Let me know. Thank you again so much for listening to this week's episode of Just Trying to Podcast. In the coming weeks, we'll have some more guests on the show, some more longer conversations. Really looking forward to that. And drop your comments. Send in hit the hotline. Send in a voice memo. I'd love to hear from you guys. We didn't have any comments to read, and that's okay. You got stuff going on in your life. But if you're listening to this and you got a thought, drop a comment. Let me know what's weird in life. What do you feel like we should do about tent bags? How do you feel like that Somali pirate ended up running in that race? And do you think that we should have average Joe and Does in every Olympic event? And maybe just how you're trying to stay funny and stay weird. Peace.
Hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need.
Great shot.